What is up, fellow champions of Azeroth? This is the Chig coming at you with is probably going to be my most in-depth guide ever on World of Warcraft. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment to see what you think we're doing. But anyway, let's hop right into it. So, what I have done is I have put together a boosting character for Scarlet Monastery Cathedral. None of the mobs are gray. I can delete the instance, and there is actually a more efficient way to do it than what I'm going to show you today, and I will make another video about that in the not so distant future. So the first thing I'd like to do is say we're gonna go over the character, and then we're gonna go over the talents, and then we're gonna go over the run, and then we're gonna go over what you should be doing, how you can maximize it, and then I will bring you back for another video at some point in the not so distant future so you can see exactly how to do this and for it to be as efficient as possible. I'm just now getting off of my feet and getting people to start seeing that it actually works, because people think boosting is dead, but it's not. You just have to have the character set up properly for it. So it took me several hours of grinding to get all of this, but it is worth it. You will see why, and we're going to go over the gear, the talents, the consumables, everything you need to do this without any assistance, and then the way to do it will come later to be as efficient as possible. This is just your character, one account, one dude, you. All right, first things first. We have a helmet that has no enchant. I'm going to leave a link to the character builder in the description down below so you can double check it and follow along. But first things first, South Sea Head Bucket. I have this one because it is strength, stam, and defense rating. This comes from a quest in Tannerus that is super easy to solo once you hit level 42 and lock your experience. Walk down there, do it. It's the South Sea Freebooters quest. You go down there, you kill the freebooters, you kill all of the pirates and buccaneers, and you get the helmet. Scout's Medallion. This is one of three really good options. This is from the PvP vendor. You'll have to go to two PvP vendors to get all of the gear that's here. So my phone or computer just interrupted me. Nope. Anyway, so you'll have to go to the Warsong Gulch vendor, and you'll have to go to the Arathi Basin vendor. Neither of which is really hard to get to. You just hop on your mount and roll. You can get your epic mount at level 40. I haven't gotten mine yet because I basically just live in Scarlet Monastery. Your shoulders. There's not a good shoulder enchant, but you do not want the ones I have. I have the strengthened stockades pauldrons. These are the one from shards. I got these because when I started putting my character together, I still haven't farmed enough badges because I'm new on this server. So that being said, this is a lot easier to put together now than it was, because before this past Tuesday, I had to buy 2 of these. So this was 100 badges instead of just 50, because now we have the collections tab. So what you want in this slot is the polished Spalders of Valor. You want the crit, experience, strength, stam shoulders, not the resilience shoulders. All right, you want the ones that have crit. They're going to be much better in the long run. I'm going to get these eventually. Oh well. You cannot have an enchant on your shoulders at level 42, which is super unfortunate. I've looked around, I can't find anything. If you can find something, please let me know in the comments while I yawn in your ear. Sorry, I've been up all night working on this. Khan's Cloak. This one is super easy to find. It drops in the auction house. As you can see, it is 7 gold on my server. Super easy to get. The reason I have this one is because it's got decent armor, strength, and stamina. There's a couple other options. This just happens to be the easiest. It is enchanted with 12 defense. The reason it is enchanted with 12 defense is because defense rating scales really hard with low level characters. So it's coming in handy. We'll talk about my defenses here in a little bit. It's really good. So for your chest piece, this one's also a non-negotiable. You want the polished Breastplate of Valor. This is the BOA, 16 strength, 16 stamina, 100 health, non-negotiable. That's the enchant you want on it. It helps out a lot more than you would think. It's got crit on it. Experience doesn't matter because our experience is locked. I've looked around. That is the best item I can find. If something happens and I do happen to find something better, I will update the written portion of the guide. So, Berserker Bracers. This is from Warsong Gulch. Alright, walk over to Warsong. You buy these for like 600 honor. They're amazing. The best way to get honor for your character is to buy the marks of honor that are bind on account from the Wintergrasp vendor and mail them over. You only have to have one. Everything you need will cost you less than 2,000 honor. They're amazing. Again, you see we have the defense rating on there. You can also... Oh, excuse me. You can also go the other route if you would like, and you can put more HP on here. I may change my enchants up a little bit because of the way that Seal of Light works. Seal of Light heals you based on a percentage of your HP, 2% of your maximum health. We're going to get into that in a minute. So, Flurry Axe. This is also quote-unquote required. It's not the cheapest item in the game, but it's not unreasonably expensive. I got mine for like 900 gold. They fluctuate between 750 and 1700 on my server. Get one of these. 2 reasons. 1, extra attacks beget extra attacks. When you have flurry procs from the Flurry Axe, it can proc your Reckoning, which can proc your Flurry Axe. And every time you swing, you have a chance to heal yourself with Seal of Light and Judgment of Light, which is basically what's going to keep us alive. As you'll see, when I get good RNG, I am at full HP. When I don't get good RNG, I have to really, really be on my game to not die. You can pull this in such a manner where you won't die ever, but it's a little slower. And then once I make the other videos so you can see the absolute fastest you can go, you'll see what I'm talking about there. So this one you also get from the auction house. Your enchant options are as follows. You can put Lifesteal, which procs about once every 6 seconds. It will heal you for 30 and it will drain 30 from your target. Not a bad call at all. I personally have Mongoose. Mongoose procs every now and then. It gives you more armor and more dodge and more attack speed because it gives you 120 agility and it gives you attack speed. So makes you attack more, makes you dodge more, gives about 5% dodge, and it gives about 112 armor. So it's a good defensive option. You can also do Crusader. Crusader's amazing. You get strength and a guaranteed 75 to 125 heal off Crusader. I've been testing it with Mongoose. I might switch it over to Crusader. As a matter of fact, I've been considering that pretty hard. Mongoose is a little expensive. There are other TBC enchants you can consider. Please consider your options before you put your enchant on your Flurry Axe. Your Flurry Axe is above item level 35, which means Outland enchants can go on it. Same goes for your shield. Your shield is actually from a quest chain that starts in the hinterlands. It has you go to Zul'Farrak. This is the longest to get item. You will need help because the last mob you have to kill is not soloable by you under normal circumstances. You can do it. It would be very, very, very difficult because she is a question mark boss spider. And if you get a couple of... excuse me again. If you get a couple of bad procs in a row, she will just delete you because she can crush you. Alright. Also non-negotiable. You have to have the Swift Hands of Justice. Couple of reasons. 1, haste is amazing on what we're doing. Haste, haste, haste. We want to swing this axe as fast as we can to get as many procs as we can. The other big one, you heal for 2% of your maximum health. Not base health, maximum health. Whenever you kill a target that yields experience or honor. All of the mobs in here are green, so you are always going to be proccing this when something dies. Legionnaire's Band. This is from PvP. Just costs a couple hundred honor. It's amazing. It's got strength, agility, and stamina. So armor, attack power, dodge, and crit chance, and also some HP. It's amazing. True Silver Commander ring. It has the same stats, 7 agility, 7 strength, 6 stamina, so just a little bit less. But it's like 50 gold in the auction house, and it's literally one of the best things you can get. So what's coming up next? Boots of Avoidance. These are absolutely amazing. Get them in the auction house. They have agility and stamina on them, which is going to give you all the stats we've already talked about for agility. You will enchant these with minor speed and 9 stamina, which is Boar's speed. They just give you 24 dodge rating. They are literally amazing for what we're doing. As you can see on my character sheet, I have 20% dodge, 6% parry, and 11.15% block. That comes from my block on my shield here. So, all together, before anything happens, we have 26, 37, about 38% avoidance, which is pretty good. So we'll go over that in a minute as well. After that, these also drop in the auction house. You want to get a pair of these. The Golem Shard Leggings. There are some other options. These are really good. They have high armor. They have 22 strength. And I have them enchanted with a rugged armor kit because 40 armor for free because there's nothing else we can put on them at this level. And then they give 9 defense. Defense rating gives you all of these stats. It gives you armor. Let's see. So it gives you increased dodge, block, and parry, and it also reduces your chance to be critically hit. So we have a 1.5% less chance to be critically hit because of all of our defense rating. Obviously, we could give up some of our defense rating for some stamina. I haven't decided if I want to try that yet or not. This build works really well. You'll see it soon. Enchant on that is just 40 more armor. Belt. This is Defiler's Plate Belt. Defiler's Plate Belt is from Arathi Basin. The Defiler's reputation. You don't have to have the rep anymore. Super easy to get. Walk over there and buy it. It's not going to hurt your feelings. Then we have Fist Plates of Haku. You get these off the auction house. They are literally statted perfect. They have good armor. They have 10 strength, 10 agility, and 10 stamina. Everything we need. I have them enchanted with 15 strength. You can change your enchants up a little bit. This is just helping my clear speeds. I don't really have any issues, as you can see when we go through the gameplay here in a minute. That is gear, top to bottom. It is going to take a lot of farming to get all of this, but it is worth it. It is fun. You can farm in here. You can make some gold. You can boost your friends. You can sell boost. It is a lot of fun. And once we go over the most effective way to do it, you will be able to run it back in less than 6-7 minutes. My fastest run so far is 6 minutes and like 42 seconds. So you have time to do both sides of the dungeon before you reset, and it's just incredible. Obviously, you're not looting when you do that. If you loot, it's going to take you to lockout. Depends on if you're boosting or not. We can go into that another time. So your build, you're going to do Divine Strength. This is another reason I'm making sure I have strength in every single slot I can get it. 15% more strength, just flat out from off the top. Next row, Anticipation, 5% dodge. That's why our dodge is so high. We have 15.3, and then we get 5 from our skills, which is just amazing. So your other options over here are not as good, but you can make your cooldown of your Hand of Protection and your make your Hand of Freedom longer. So you can bring that down to 3 minutes, and you can make Hand of Freedom 10 seconds, which isn't bad, but that's not what we're here for. When we're doing this run, you're spamming cleanse while you're running, so it's not really a issue to need freedom. You're just spamming cleanse, and you basically have infinity mana. You'll see what I'm talking about when we're going through it. The next row down here, Improved Righteous Fury, just flat 6% less damage taken. This is amazing. This helps out a lot. We're putting 5 out of 5 in toughness. Increase your armor value from items by 10% and reduces the duration of movement slowing effects by 30. So, when you're dazed, reduces it. When you're slowed, reduces it. When you have slow, reduces it. This is just all around amazing. So it's helping out our armor a whole lot. 10% when you have 5,500 is 500, right? It's great. All right, so Improved Devotion Aura increases the armor bonus of your Devotion Aura by 50% and increases the amount healed by a target affected by one of your auras by 6%. So we always get an extra 6% healing because we always have an aura on. Sometimes I run with red aura, sometimes I run with Devo aura. So when we don't have Devo aura, our damage reduction is 58.18% from physical damage, which is the most dangerous in here. You pop on Devo aura, puts us up 700 more armor. Now we're at 61.27. So again, we go from 58.18 to 61.27. You gain just 3-point change increased damage reduction just from having that aura on. It's amazing. Armor is great. All right, so moving on down. 5 out of 5 in Reckoning. You don't have to have 5 out of 5 in Reckoning. This is where I put my points. You can move them around. You can put some points down here in Ardent Defender. So if you die, you don't really die. It brings you back. It can only happen once every 2 minutes. Like, I might try that one time. I might not try that one time. I haven't decided yet. So 5, 10, 18, 21, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 points. Right? 33 points. That's what we got because we're level 42. That means no mobs in here are gray. You can move a couple of points around. I highly recommend keeping all of your points in Sacred Duty. Increases your total stamina by 4%, reduces the cooldown of your Divine Shield and Divine Protection by 60 seconds. So it's amazing. It helps out. The big thing is gives you 4% more stamina, period. The other one that is absolutely non-negotiable is one-handed weapon specialization. This just increases your damage dealt by 10%, period. So having a little bit more chance on Reckoning, I'm probably going to move that down to Ardent Defender, which is going to be 2 points. It'll bump you up to 20% of your maximum health. Like, it's going to be good. So that is where we're at with that. Now, this is your talents. Last point you get, Holy Shield. This is what makes the build work. Increases your block chance by 30% for 10 seconds. Deals 79 damage to each attack. Blocked when active. Blocks expend to charge 8 charges. So we're at, what we say, 37% avoidance. Holy Shield. Now we're at 67% avoidance. Just like that. Bang. And we're blocking constantly. So we are going to be making our mana go up. And the reason we're going to be making our mana go up is because of Blessing of Sanctuary. Places a blessing on a friendly target, reduces damage taken from all sources by 3% for 10 minutes, and increases strength and stamina by 10%. So it buffs us up, it helps us out. So we're at 2600 HP right here, and bang. Now what are we at? Let's see. Flashlight, we're at 2860, which is amazing. And I'm going to tell you how to get that up in just a minute. It's going to be great. So, in addition, when the target blocks, parries, or dodges a melee attack, the target will gain 2% of maximum displayed mana. So, 2% of that. And you're pulling like mad. You're going to see some of these pulls, our mana bar just, it doesn't go down. I'm basically spamming buttons 24/7. It's amazing. Alright, so, that's what we're doing there. This is the build. It's great. Only one blessing can be active. When we get into how to absolutely maximize the build, I'll tell you some things that make it even better. But as of right now, that's what's up. No points in any of the other trees. We don't have room for them. We could, keyword being could, take those 2 extra points we have and put them in deflection. How much better would 3% more avoidance be? Who knows? All right, so we're going to go into consumables real quick. So for consumables, let's see. Sharpening stone. Does that work? Let's see. Yes, it does. Wow. Okay, so you're going to get whatever sharpening stone you can use for your weapon. That's not true. You're not going to use sharpening stones. And there's a good reason why. I just have this left over from when I was leveling. You're going to use wizard oils. And the reason why is because it's going to give you spell power. This one requires level 40. This is the highest level one you can use. As you can see, I've got them stacked in my bag. So, lasts for an hour. So let's go ahead and put that on. So that's just going to make your consecration do more. So it says 417. Bang. Now it says 425. All right. It's amazing. It's got about a 50% spell power ratio. And our strength increases it too. So there's a couple different ways you can build this. Strength is why we're doing it this way. All right, another thing, Rumsey Rum Black Label. Everybody knows what this does. They're plentiful in the auction house. buy these. Keep them up all the time. Make a weak aura that tells you that you don't have it up. And the reason being, bang, 150 more HP off the top. I am missing one thing I would tell you to get. Scroll of Stamina 4. Gives you 250 HP. It gives you 25 stamina. And the reason I'm missing it is because there are currently none in my auction house. And there's really no way for me to get any right now. I'm literally leveling an inscriptionist, so I have unlimited access to these. That's how good they are. So you're going to add another 250. I have all of the consumables listed on the written guide that I'm going to share, so you don't have to worry about that. It's all going to be laid out for you. Then, swiftness potions. You want to have swiftness potions because they can save your butt. They're expensive, but they might save you. All right. Running away is better than running back every time. Health potions. You want to have the biggest health potions you can possibly use. So, 700 to 900 HP. This is a 30% heal sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's 25% heal. Sometimes it's 21% heal. But it's a good chunky heal. You also want mana potions. This, if you get the full thing, will just, it's your whole mana bar pretty much. That's going to help out a lot. Here's another helmet I've been testing. This one is just big strength. See, so your stats change up a little bit. Let's see. So our consecrate goes from 425 damage. We put this on. It goes up to 439 damage, right? Our HP goes down a little bit. Put this on, our HP goes up, right? Because our stamina is scaling with all of our stuff. So that's why I like that hat. Like I said, there's a couple different options. There is a Sunken Temple quest hat you can get that has all of the stats on it that I'm probably going to get and test it out too. I will let you guys know when I get an opportunity to do so. You also need the Scarlet Key. However, you can walk through Scarlet Library and get it yourself. You can solo Scarlet Library. It's not a problem at all. I'm going to slowly show you this pull, and then I will show you the run on a different video, how to do it quickly. But I want to teach you guys how to do this properly, right? So the last consumable we're going to talk about here, there are two options. You can get an armor elixir, or you can get elixir fortitude. You can get an elixir that raises your HP. These are super cheap in the auction house. You just want as much effective HP as you can possibly get, because the higher your HP, the more you heal when you heal, right? All right, so we got weapon oil. We got an elixir. We have our Rumsey Rum. We have our buffs. You can also get a power elixir, right? So you can get the elixir, and then you can get the one that gives you strength or whatever. Giant strength, whatever, the 25 strength one. I'm currently out of them. You can also buy stamina food if you don't have Rumsey Rum, but it's just easier to pop Rumsey Rum because it still lasts 15 minutes. If being drunk messes with you, go ahead and turn off screen glow effects. And then even though your character's drunk, you're not going to be wobbling around and stuff. All right, so that's all the consumables gone through. So, gameplay. You keep up Seal of Light at all times. You keep up Blessing of Sanctuary at all times. As you can see, popping those makes your mana bar go down a little bit. So, you have those up. You have your potions available. I pull a lot with Taunt. You'll see why. I'll explain why when we're going through here. You have your defensive buffs. So, Glyphs. I have Glyph of Salvation. It makes my Hand of Salvation used on me reduce damage taken by 20%. As you can see, that's on my #1 button. Every 2 minutes, I can take 20% less damage. That is a godsend. It helps a lot. So, we've got Glyph of Salvation, and then we've got Glyph of Consecrate. This helps with our mana problems. It makes Consecration last 10 seconds and have a cooldown of 10 seconds instead of 8 and 8. That just makes it where we don't have to cast as many consecrations. Keeps our mana bar full. And then the last one reduces the cooldown of Lay on Hands by 5 minutes. We use Lay on Hands basically every run. Every other run if it's not up. And when we don't have it, we bubble and then we heal. As you can see, I have both of my bubbles here. I have my shield wall here. And I have my Lay on Hands here. Everything that gives me forbearance is right there because I use them all. Okay, there are some situations where you can switch your seals. If you're fighting the boss and your seal of light isn't necessary because your judgment can keep you alive, switch your seal over to Seal of Righteousness. If that's not the case, leave your seal on Seal of Light. So I have this add-on that I use when I am tanking. This wants me to use this as DPS, so it wants me to have Retribution aura on. Bomb. So I'm going to have Retribution aura on. This is going to be wrong pretty frequently because it's for high level stuff. Alright, so you want to make sure you have all your buffs. Righteous Fury. We have Blessing of Sanctuary. Going to make sure we got full duration. We have Seal of Light. Going to make sure we have the full duration. We have our weapon oil, we have our elixir, and we have Rumsey Rum. We got 10 minutes left on it. So that's all of that. The gameplay. You're going to keep up your buffs. You're going to keep these 3 on cooldown. You're going to keep Judgment on cooldown. You're going to keep Consecrate on cooldown. And you're going to keep Holy Shield on cooldown. You always want to be hitting your Judgment target. If you're not hitting your Judgment target, you're not healing as much. You have to be hitting the target that you judge. If he gets away from you, judge a different target. Do not judge them while they're running away. You can use your Hand of Reckoning while they're running away to deal more damage to them. Do not judge them while they're running away. Alright, so this is how we do the run. Pull this first mob. Pop your shield because she's going to be hitting you. You can block it. It's fine. Strafe down the hallway. We're going to pull all of these mobs. Now, sometimes these are casters. Sometimes they're not casters. You always want to put your back against the wall. And you want to keep up your buffs, right? So we're just going to stand here and we're going to tank them down. Something else you can consider. I'm going to level engineering, so I have bombs. That's going to increase your clear speed. I'm going to bring other characters out here to give me more buffs. That's going to increase your clear speed. I'm going to go over all of that in the other video, ways to make it faster, but this is just how to get it set up and how to start running it just with your character as fast as you possibly can to be able to be effective in getting your runs done. As you can see, each kind of mob does something a little different. The Myrmidons, they enrage and they dual wield. So those are the most dangerous mobs in here. The defenders, they have a buff that gives them 75% chance to block. Just lasts a couple seconds, but it's hard on them. All right, so this is the first big pull. See this wizard right here? That's where you start. So you're going to run out. You're going to grab that wizard. So, once you grab wizards, you start spamming cleanse. Alright, so you're going to taunt the Myrmidon. You're going to stay on the outside. You're going to keep spamming cleanse. The reason being, if they hit you with a frostbolt, you want to make sure you get out of it. See right there? Alright, and you dodge. So, you get over here. You want to line of sight the casters to make sure that you're getting them stacked up. I pop my 20% buff here. I get over here. I judge a caster. And then I start fighting them because I want everything over here stacked up, right? And the whole time I fight these, I am spamming cleanse. All right, my judgment target ran away. So I switched targets. I'm going to drink a potion because my RNG wasn't that good. All right, I drank a potion. So target runs away, switch targets, put your stuff on it. It is what it is, right? But as you can see, my health is staying full. I'm going to mute my game because that's really annoying. But yeah, have your UI set up where you can see when you have debuffs. So they do cast frostbolts. The other thing those mobs cast is a slow, like the actual arcane spell slow. The reason that is dangerous, it also decreases your attack speed. Our attack speed is our literal most important stat, right? Because without our attack speed, we are not healing as much as we should be healing. Right? Alright, so we fought all these guys. We took them down. Our mana stayed full because we were fighting them. We'll go ahead and loot everything because we're killing everything. We're taking it slow, right? So the big thing here, when you're fighting in this corridor, use this pillar right here back and forth to line of sight the casters so you can make sure that they come to you so you're in melee range because you need to be able to consecrate everything. Alright, so the next pull, we're using the pillars up here. You're going to pull whatever pat's down here. You're just going to run up here. Obviously, you want to strafe jump if you can. Strafe jump, strafe jump. Alright, we pulled a caster, so that means we're starting to spam cleave, right? Alright, cool. Alright, we are dazed, but we have skills that let us do that, so we're going to keep running around, keep running around. We want to make sure that we are pulling everybody, right? Alright, so now, we line aside all the casters that aren't over here. We want to judge this caster. You want to kill the casters first. Reason being is casters, you can't block. you can block everybody else. Okay, so that caster ran away. So we want to make sure, see, got that debuff there. We want to make sure that we're line of sighting the guys in the back. Make sure you have an add-on that shows you enemy cast bars, because you want to make sure anybody that casts at you, you can see them and you can start line of sighting them. If you're doing this on a blood elf, obviously you can arcane torrent if you need to interrupt, but arcane torrent is pretty reliable because we do have a pretty good hit chance because most of the mobs in here are green to us. But you can't always guarantee that you're going to get the interrupt, right? So as you can see, my HP is still really high. We're fighting all these mobs. The fire shield's not that dangerous. We can basically out heal it. And then you go back in, you keep your consecrate down. Your consecrate's going to clean up the mobs as they run back to you. If you got melee mobs, you're going to pop your shield. If you don't have melee mobs, you're not going to pop your shield. Okay, so next pull, we got to clear the door because we're going to go into the monastery. Obviously, you'll get faster at this as you do it. So we're going to pull whatever mobs stand in here. We're going to pull those two mobs. And we're going to pull these two mobs. Now, we're going to spam cleanse because we need to get over here. Now, the reason we're getting over here, because we want to line of sight any casters. Sometimes there won't be casters. Sometimes there will be casters. You just got to figure out what you got, right? So, now that the caster's over here, we want to keep attacking our judged target. I only have one caster, so I'm not real afraid of him. He can stand there. I'm just going to leave it on there. Alright, so now that that mob's ran away, I'm going to judge him. Okay, I got a proc on him, so he's not going to last very long. We're taking him down. Alright, so just switch targets. So we're watching where the caster's going because we still want to be able to line of sight him. Because if he starts casting, that pillar works the same as the other one does, right? We want to make sure that we're line of sighting everything that he does. We want to make sure that we're keeping our block up. We're going to make sure that we're keeping everything on cooldown. See, now we're just standing right here. He's going to miss. Bang. He didn't even finish his cast because he was line of sighted. All right. Now, go finish up these mobs. Every now and then, your mana will get low, and you're fine, right? It's fine. So if your mana gets low, you've got level 35 water. Sit down, have a drink, build up, make sure your buffs are good. So I'm gonna rebuff with Rumsy Rum because I'm almost out, and I'm gonna rebuff with that, right? All right, so we know that mob is standing there, but we don't have to pull him yet. Go up here, open the door. This is why you need the Scarlet Key. Now I pull all of these mobs last, and you'll see why. So I do this room in a few pulls. So we find whatever mob's in the back, we run in until we taunt it. We run back, we pull everything out the door. Try not to get caught on that candelabra. So pull everything out the door, set up shop, judge whatever mob you taunted, and make sure you're keeping stuff on cooldown. So you'll see those guys cast renew. If there's more than one of them casting renew, you don't really want more than one renew going out. So what I do if I see more than one, I go ahead and arcane torrent it. As you can see on these bigger pulls, your mana pool just stays full. Like, there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't. Every now and then your HP will go down because you'll get hit by more than one mob, yada yada. But you really don't have any concerns whatsoever. Judge the highest health mob. I'll show you the macros that I use. All of my abilities have start attack attached to them as well, right? So now those mobs are out there and they've already ran. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line of sight them into the building. They're going to come in one by one. I'm going to go ahead and drop my consecrate because once the mob runs in fear, it typically, not always, but typically won't run again. So I just get start attack macro. All right, he's cast renew. Could have stunned him, but why put my stun on cooldown if I don't have to? So loot up the mobs. And like I said, you can get this down to about 6 minutes once you get good at it. So the next pull. If you missed any mobs over here, go ahead and hit them. All right. Then run around the corner. We're going to taunt the guy in the back. When we get over here, bang, just a little extra money, a little extra damage. We're around here and line aside them. All right. Now, this is the easy, chill way to pull this. This is the, I'm never in danger. I don't have to worry about anything. My gear might not be good. I may not have all my consumables. Whatever the reason may be. This is that reason that you're doing that. All right. So, 2 mobs just got off renews. Do we care? No, we can out damage it. It's not a problem at all. All right, so you're just going to tank them down. So if a caster runs out there, so if the wizard runs out there, we are immediately going to go to the corner because we do not want him to be shooting at us. We are going to have the line of sight. Move your camera around. Do whatever you need to do so you're not worried about it. All right, so you're standing here. You're good to go. All right, drop another consecrate. Wait on him to come back. Once you got a couple more melee mobs, pop your holy shield so you get a couple more blocks. Use your judgment. You know, basically just keep all of your stuff on cooldown at all times unless there's one mob and it's low HP. All right, so next pull, super easy. Kind of do the same thing. You run over here. You got these 2 mobs in the front. You pull them. All right, you make sure that they pull all the ones down through on one side. Judge the guy in the back. Now, you can stop right here. This will get you XP to your boosties. So about right here is where XP stops going to the door. So make sure you're cognizant of that. So what I do when I'm boosting people and not just farming, I always use right here as a kill spot. Makes it easier for me to loot. I know where the mobs are going to be. I know where the loot's going to be. I can bring everything back to the same spot every time. And it's just overall a good spot to be in. No complaints ever for using this spot. So when you are cycling through mobs, all right, so that mob happened to pull another caster, right? So anytime you pull a caster, line of sight it, all right? I didn't need to potion right there, but I did just in case. So whenever the mob that you have judged runs, you should immediately tab until you find the highest health target you have and then judge it. All right, so I have a caster here that's got high HP. So that's who I want to judge. You can see he's got the judgment debuff, and that's who I want to be hitting because you want to hit the mob that's going to last the longest, that you can heal the most off of, right? And then when you got a couple of scragglers like this, you can just run away and finish them off. But you never want to chase in a direction that is going to be putting you in danger. So if they ran towards other mobs, no, do not follow them, right? All right, so next pull, super easy. Same thing. Go up here, pull the mob at the end. Obviously, as you get better at this, you don't have to be so slow with the pulls. You'll be fine, right? But this is just me showing you the mechanics of the monastery so you can see where things are and how they go. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and not let him heal. And then I'm going to switch to him as my judgment target now because he had the most HP, right? So now there's 2 of them cross-healing each other. I'm not worried about it because of the amount of damage that I do, right? All it takes is 1 good proc and they're down. See, right there. 1 good proc and they're down. I got him while he was casting. So if they're the ones that heal themselves, it's fine. If they heal somebody else, you basically get that entire time that they're healing as just free DPS because they're not going anywhere. Any mob that enrages isn't going to run. So you can see that that mob is enraged. So once the abbot enrages, he doesn't run. All right, so that pull's done. I recommend killing the abbots first on that pull, and that's why, because they enrage. Enrage is a little dangerous because if you don't get good RNG. All right, so same thing. Pull everybody. There's a couple casters in this pull, so we are going to spam our cleanse. All right, so we got parked. We judged the mob that we had targeted, and we're going to keep him targeted, right? All right, so I have a wizard. I have a centurion. I have another wizard. I have several wizards, right? So since I know I have wizards, I am literally continuing to scroll down my wheel. You can see my my bar blinking because it does not cast your cleanse if you do not have anything to cleanse. So it's saying, no, I don't have anything to cleanse. I don't have anything to cleanse. Okay, so here I'm a little low, so I'm going to pop my 20% damage reduction. And I'm just going to keep on keeping on, right? Now, this is a point where I am low enough, I'm going to potion, right? Did I need to? Probably not. But we're talking about being as comfortable as possible in your run. You're not in a hurry, right? Like, you don't have to be in a hurry, right? We're only like 11 minutes in, and we're the majority of the way done. Now, if you're boosting people, don't kill the bosses. There's no reason to kill the bosses. They give a little bit more XP per kill, but they take so much longer that it's not really worth it. On the other hand, if you're farming this and not for boosting, if you're in here to farm because you want the mats or you're disenchanting, I recommend leveling up enchanting and leveling up engineering. That way you have bombs. I don't have my bombs yet, but I do have my enchanting leveled up enough that I can use, I can disenchant everything. So taunt that guy, judge whoever's in the back, run in, put your back to the wall, and get your buffs up. All right. So if you have a caster, identify them. All right, I have a wizard. So my judgment came back up. I switched to the wizard. I put all the mobs in front of me. Now I can see where they go and if I need to line of sight them. Right? I saw the chaplain heal. So I know he's next. Excuse me. So just keep everything on cooldown. Make sure you're always attacking. Always be attacking, because that is what keeps you alive. Even with taking my sweet time. All right, so I'm going to line of sight just in case the caster decides he wants to try to cast. Taking my sweet time, we're almost done with the run. There's 2 pulls left after this. And I've been in here for 16 minutes. Right, and this is me going slowly. Normally, what you can get on your own when you're not explaining it to anybody, you're just running through and you're dropping the mobs and you're looting, you can do it in under 10. You can hit lockout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to kill the boss and where to kill the boss. All right, so first things first. We all know that Whitemane is in there and she's going to come out. So we're going to fight Mograine. So we know that our judgment is enough to keep us up. So we're going to switch over to Seal of Righteousness for more DPS. All right, I'm stunned. There's no reason for me to do anything to get out of that because he cannot drop me in a stun. All right, so we're just going to keep using things on cooldown. Keep using things on cooldown. He's going to hit us. He's going to get our mana back up. That's fine. Now, I would recommend when you're fighting one mob not to consecrate. Reason being, consecration is expensive and there's not enough mobs hitting you in order to keep it up. So here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to cleanse off Crusader debuff because it makes us take more damage. But now that we have our Seal of Righteousness, we are just going to keep bonking on Whitemane. As you can see, our Seal of Righteousness is ticking for really good damage. 22, 23, right? 30. So now we're asleep. So what we're going to do when we wake up, we're going to run straight to this corner. Right there. Because that is going to give the boosties XP. So I judged her to give her the debuff. I could have stood there and fought her, but I didn't. So we're going to run here. Now we're going to wait on them. The reason we don't take them outside is because they will bring in the rest of the mobs. So any mobs that are close to them, when they like are yelling and doing their RP stuff, will run to them, right? So we don't want that. Also, we're trying to not use our consecrate because of mana. And here, I mean, watch your mana, obviously. You can use your mana pots if you need to. You can use your arcane torrent if you need to get your mana up, but watch your mana. All right, so she's gonna drop. All right, so she's gonna get a heal off. It's fine, we don't care. So our health goes down slowly here, right? So going down, going down, going down. All right, so it's a little low. I got under 1,000. Wasn't the most comfortable with it, so I popped a heal potion, right? I still have not used any of my stuff. I've not used anything that gives me forbearance yet. So I wasn't cleansing off the debuff is why I got low. It wasn't because she hit me particularly hard or anything. It's because it makes you take more holy damage. He judges you Crusader. It makes you take more holy damage. And she hits you with Holy Smite. So she just makes you take more damage. Alright, so we're going to finish him up. Killing them, you want to kill them like right here so that your boosties get XP. They get a little more. So, get your loot, right? And then you're going to disenchant that later. So what I do, pop a couple heals, drink some mana, and then Normally I don't have that problem because I don't kill them, right? You don't have to fight the bosses unless you want to disenchant. Right now on my server, their disenchant value is pretty decent, so take them out, right? Here's the thing. So I'm not going to be at full HP. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and just pop a flash heal, get close to full. Now, I'm going to pop back over to Seal of Light because we're going to be healing again. So pull any mobs that are left over here. All right, that's a caster. So we're immediately going to start cleansing. All right, so we pulled all of those mobs. Now, we pull them and pull them back this way because we want to line them up in a certain way on the stairs. We want them to come around on the inside. And the reason being is we need to be dancing around this pillar for the line of sight, right? So we've got casters on both sides. So we pick the side that has the least amount of casters, and we stand on that side. And then once we get those casters close, we move over, line of sight the other casters. You keep spamming cleanse, because if you get that slow debuff, it is nasty. All right, so since we have 3 casters, I saw 2 of them casting, so I interrupted them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pop my 20% damage reduction. My health probably will just start going up now, right? So judgment. All right, so that mob I procced a couple times, so he went down quickly. That mob I procced a couple times, so he went down quickly. So like I said, your flurry axe can make your reckoning proc, and your reckoning can make your flurry axe proc. So you will sometimes just wind fury a mob down. All right, so we've got these mobs running around, so we want to make sure if we have a caster, we're prepared to line of sight them. All right, so we got a caster, we line of sight him. We walk around here, we hit the mob. All right, cool. So we've got everything down. All right, they walk over to consecrate, we pick up all the loot. Cool. So there's one pull left. What we do here, this is the last pull I do. Walk down here, any mobs that are left in the courtyard, any of them, you aggro them. As soon as you aggro a caster, start casting cleanse, right? So run in a manner where you can strafe jump, taunt anybody out in the middle, run around the outside because you want to give them as much room to run around as you can. All right, so cleanse, 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 cleanse. All right, we're back in the starting hallway. We pick one of the mobs that's not going to run, the maraudon, because we know he will stand there and just tank me until he falls over. So we're going to do that. All right, so we have 2 casters that are a little far apart. That's okay. So we're just going to stand here. We're going to take the casters down. We're going to take the maraudons down. As long as your casters are standing in your consecrate, you don't have to move them around too much. If I get the slow debuff, I'll show you that it slows down your attack speed too. But it's just crazy, crazy, crazy goodness. All right, so standing here, we have 2 guys down there that are going to cast. So we just line of sight them. And now we stand here. Keep our buffs up. Keep consecrate on the ground. And Bob's your uncle, right? Like this is in the run. We're done. All right, so that mob's down. That mob's down. Biggest gameplay tip. Just macro start attack to every button on your bar. Because the biggest thing that will get you knocked over faster than anything in this run is if you stop auto attacking at all for any reason. Because if you stop auto attacking, you are no longer healing yourself. That is what heals us. So our flurry is keeping us alive. Our procs are keeping us alive. All of those things are just making it as easy as possible. So we killed all the mobs. Obviously it took a little longer than it normally would have, and I'm going to run out. I don't have Nova right now. I will tell you that the recording is 49 minutes, so to explain all of it to you, run it, explain all the nuances and all that, took 49 minutes. You're going to run it in 10 once you get everything together. And once you learn how to do it quickly, you're going to run it in 6. Or maybe even faster, depending on how well you do it. If you think of any ways to optimize it, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Put a timestamp. Be like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. It'd be great to hear from you guys. All right, so that's it. This has been Mom Harridan. Give him a wave, Mom Harridan. Hey. All right, so see you guys in the next one. Like it if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. For those of you stuck around, I really appreciate you. Looking forward to it. I'm going to put my Discord in the description from now on. You guys can come hang out anytime you want to. And I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.